Chapter 10, Chenfeng. Silver Moon City. Xiaoyu Villa. Gu Hai and his party got off the Immortal crane car and followed Long Wanqing towards the interior. "Everyone is here," Long Wanqing asked the servant. Long Wanqing opened it and put it away after a few glances. Although Servant Master Jin's temper is a bit fiery, but he is loyal to my mother. It's just that it's a mess right now, with no clues. He's going this way. I don't know if there's any luck. Long Wanqing sighed slightly. "Wood Helmsman, where is Chenfeng?" Master Liu Nian asked. "Yes, Woodhelm Master with 3,000 disciples of Woodhelm has been waiting at this place. However, Woodhelm Master seems to be more interested in Silver Moon Villa's granting King Conference this time, and has already traveled to the outside of Silver Moon Villa for the 8th time, wanting to obtain the conference's qualification post. But yet, that servant said with a bitter smile. "Assembly qualification post," Gu Hai said doubtfully. "Yes, Silver Moon Villa's granting of the kin this time, attracting a large number of Qingdao masters from all over the world to come. After all, the attraction of Gu Chen is too great, but not all Qingdao masters are qualified. Chenfeng, I remember his zither down. It's still quite impressive. He's not even qualified to participate in the zither teaching conference," Long Wanqing said blankly. "There are too many Qingdao masters. It's a bit stricter. Servant Mu has been practicing the kin these days," the servant said with a bitter smile. Ding, ding, ding dong 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 dong. At this moment, above the floating island shrouded in clouds above, a zither sound suddenly rang out. The sound of the zither was crisp and clear, extremely melodious, and the sound of the zither sounded, and the surrounding clouds actually slowly moved, as if driven by the sound of the zither, slowly dancing. Oh, Gu Hai was slightly stunned. The sound of that zither could make Gu Hai intoxicated, while the sound of this zither could only make Gu Hai feel good at most. "Go and settle the officials of Great Han in a good place," Long Wanqing said to the servant. "You guys go rest and prepare yourselves first. Tomorrow, I will have you guys go and probe the shops in the city in detail." Gu Hai commanded. "Yes, Your Majesty," the 70 officials said with a respectful salute. "Shangguan Trace, why don't you go rest with them first?" Gu Hai looked at Shangguan Trace. "Yes, Your Majesty. However, Your Majesty, I want to wander around the city by myself. Is that possible?" Shangguan Trace said with a hint of excitement. "Fine. You land and stay first, then go by yourself." Gu Hai nodded. "Thank you, Your Majesty," Shangguan Trace answered, sending away a group of officials. "Shall we go up?" Long Wanqing laughed. Gu Hai nodded. Looking above, his foot slammed down. Boom. As if it were a cannonball, he jumped high into the air. Long Wanqing and Flowing Year's master flew quickly after them. The two of them waved their hands, and the surrounding clouds and fog suddenly parted a bit, for the three to land on the huge platform on the floating island. Boom. Gu Hai landed on top of the platform and looked towards the outside world. This cloud mist grand formation was subtle. When looking outside, the clouds and mist were incredibly thick, but on the inside, one could see the outside world clearly. Ding. Steeply, the zither on the floating island made a breaking sound. It was as if the strings of the zither had broken. "Who is it? Who dares to disturb my zither practice?" A loud roar came from the pavilion not far away. Gu Hai was slightly stunned. On top of the floating island, the largest palace was called the Dawn Moon Palace, and there were quite a few pavilions and palaces next to it. However, in one of the pavilions, the sound of a roaring fury was heard. "Wood Helmsman, I have heard that king cultivators, their mind must be calm in order to play an unearthly song. We just spread out a large formation and interrupted you, but it's that your heart to nurture the kin is not enough." Master Liu Nian laughed. Gu Hai then looked over. Instead, he saw a man in green walking over. The man was about 40 years old, rather thin, and at this moment, his face was still shrouded in an air of indignation. However, Seeing Long Wanqing and Master Liu Nian, this resentment could not be vented and could only be suppressed by taking a deep breath. So it's Hall Master and Flowing Year's Master. Chenfeng lost his temper. Mu Chenfeng said with a dry smile. It's all right, Ruler Mu. You are now our One Piece Hall's hope. Work hard and strive to get the Gu Chen. Long Wanqing laughed. Mu Chenfeng faintly burst into a bitter smile and said, how easy is it to talk about a king granting assembly? However, I will work hard. Definitely won't disgrace the old Hall Master. Saying that, Mu Chenfeng looked towards Gu Hai, but his pupils shrunk slightly. This is Gu Hai. Meet Ruler Mu. Gu Hai smiled. Gu Hai, Hall Master's newly appointed Water Rudder Master. Are you the one who killed Ding Rui and Meng Tai? Mu Chenfeng frowned and said. Gu Hai was stunned as he looked at this Mu Chenfeng. It seems like I just met you myself, right? And you're instructing me in an elder tone. Hall Master believed in me before making me the water servant, so it's not for Servant Mu to bother about how I perform, Gu Hai said with a smile. Mu Chenfeng, however, didn't seem to care about Gu Hai as if he didn't value Gu Hai from the bottom of his heart. Mu Chenfeng, Gu Hai, you're both from the One Piece Hall. Work well together. Don't let outsiders see the joke. Long Wanqing frowned and said. Don't worry, Hall Master. Gu Hai nodded. Hall Master, don't worry, since it's Rudder Master Shui, I will naturally take care of him. Gu Hai, if there's anything you want to help, you can just say it, Mu Chenfeng also said directly. Speaking of which, there's really something I want to ask for help from Servant Master Mu. Gu Hai thought for a moment and said. Mu Chenfeng's face stiffened. Just now, he just casually said it. But you're really good at climbing up the ladder, aren't you? Oh, tell me, Mu Chenfeng said with a reluctant face. It's like this. I've brought dozens of people over here, ready to open a shop in Silver Moon City, so that they can be self-sufficient. But they don't know much about Silver Moon City's business, so I want them to do a market survey first. However, their cultivation is too low. They are all at Haoshan Realm cultivation, so it might not be too convenient for them to be in the city. So I want to ask Rudder Master Mu to send more subordinates to accompany them around Silver Moon City, to just protect their journey, Gu Hai said. Open a shop. Mu Chenfeng looked at Gu Hai in front of him speechlessly, as if he hadn't kept up with Gu Hai's rhythm. Yes, Gu Hai nodded and smiled. All right, I'll send 200 people to accompany them around. However, when they buy things along the way, they'll spend their own money. My people don't care about them. Mu Chenfeng shook his head and said, don't worry, I'll give them pocket money. Gu Hai smiled slightly. Mu Chenfeng nodded. Servant Mu, you get busy with you. Long Wanqing nodded. Mu Chenfeng nodded, stepped and flew off the floating island, finding a secluded place to go and practice the kin. Standing on top of the floating island, Long Wanqing introduced the situation to Gu Hai. Master Liu Nian, however, walked away at the right time. Silver Moon City, an uncompromising city of music. Another day passed. Mu Chenfeng returned from the screening that he had attended at Silver Moon Villa. Mu Chenfeng was furious and had a deadpan face. From a distance, Gu Hai had already guessed the result. Twisting his head, Gu Hai avoided Mu Chenfeng's gaze, not wanting to reveal his scars. 9th time, already eliminated 9 times. How bad was Mu Chenfeng's mood at this moment? For Long Wanqing's comfort, instead of appreciating it, Mu Chenfeng was incomparably choking in his speech. Long Wanqing opened her mouth, not knowing what to say. Mu Chenfeng, after all, you are the helmsman of the first grade hall. The Hall Master is talking to you. What is your tone? Master Liu Nian said in a cold voice. Mu Chenfeng suppressed the fire in his heart, nodded and said, Master Liu Nian is right. Hall Master, just now, my subordinate did get a bit too hot. My subordinate will make amends to Hall Master. Hall Master, Silver Moon Villa has sent a messenger. A servant called out from a distance. Everyone revealed a puzzled look. Soon, a man in green clothes arrived close by, taking out an invitation in the shape of an ancient zither in his hand. This is the qualification invitation for the King Grunting Conference. Chenfeng was instantly surprised. Instead, the man in green clothes looked towards Long Wanqing and said, "Yesterday, the old manor master heard that the Hall Master of the Hall of One Piece had arrived in Silver Moon City. May I ask, are you Long Wanqing?" "Precisely." Long Wanqing nodded blankly. Old Master Zhuang said, "Yipin Hall's previous Hallmaster, Long Xiaoyukin Dao, is quite alive. Asked me to send a qualification post for the awarding of the King Conference. Old Master Zhuang is very sorry for the passing away of Hallmaster Xiaoyu. However, Yipin Hall now represents Hallmaster Xiaoyu. Old Master Zhuang is willing to give a qualification post to Yipin Hall as a way of honoring the memory of Hallmaster Xiaoyu." Thank you, Old Manor Master." Long Wanqing nodded blankly. The green-clothed man gave a slight salute, and then quickly left. Long Wanqing grasped the qualification post for a while in a daze, while Chenfeng's eyes on the side looked straight. Why was the qualification post that he had gone to take the test 9 times and hadn't even obtained given to Long Wanqing so easily? Why did he lose his temper just now, saying that the Silver Moon Villa's matter was his own business, not to be bothered by the Hallmaster, and had nothing to do with the One Piece Hall? Wasn't this a slap in his own face? On the side, Guhai also realized Chenfeng's embarrassment and turned his head to look curiously. That Chenfeng looked at Long Wanqing and opened his mouth, not knowing how to say it. "Guhai, why don't you go to this Zither Grunting Conference?" "I'm not good at it either." Long Wanqing grasped the qualification post and laughed bitterly. "No." On the side, Chenfeng shouted at once. The crowd looked over. Chenfeng's face was already suffocating red. What big fat man did he act like earlier? "I hope that you will perform well on top of the King Grunting Conference." "Many thanks, Hallmaster." "Many thanks, Hallmaster." Chenfeng instantly received the qualification post with a handful of excitement. "It's time to thank Servant Master Gu," Long Wanqing corrected. Guhai nodded solemnly, watching Chenfeng's face twitch. "That's natural. Tomorrow, I'll send another 500 subordinates to you to help you do that market research." Chenfeng instantly laughed. "Many thanks," Guhai nodded. "It's not good, Hellmaster." Steeply, a voice of anxiety came from the distance. It was a Woodrudder disciple who ran over. "What's wrong?" Panicking, Chenfeng frowned. We. The man took a look at Guhai, and his face went pale for a while. "Say it," Chenfeng glared. "Earlier, I accompanied Servant Gu's subordinates to do market research in the city, and every time they entered a shop, they had to buy something and make a record. Later, we arrived at the world's first piano house, but we were detained by the people from the world's first piano house," the man said bitterly. "Detained by the world's first piano building. What's the reason for that?" "What did you guys do?" Chenfeng said blankly. "We didn't do anything. They said that the subordinates of the ancient helmsman are thieves and robbers, to be detained for interrogation and handed over to the officials. Just say they stole them. How could a group of them at the Haoshan realm have so many spirit stones? Did the Heaven's first piano tower make a mistake?" "No mistake. They do have a lot of spirit stones. A lot," the man said oddly. "How is that possible, Servant Master Gu? I think you said the day before that you only gave them a little pocket money." Chenfeng looked at Guhai suspiciously. "You're giving a group of Haoshan realm, each carrying 1,000 top-grade spirit stones on the street." Chenfeng stared at Guhai with a look of incredulity. Since when did the people of that barbaric land of the 1,000 Islands Sea become so rich? To give the Haoshan realm pocket money, there were actually 1,000 top-grade spirit stones.